Unipod, the podcast for all things management software.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unipod, the podcast for all things management software. And today we are with Dan Amara, the CEO of Sportigo, and we're going to dive into the whole sports management software world. And he's going to tell us a little bit more about his journey. So without saying anything further, Dan, can you please go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, Sean. Nice to meet you, and thanks for the invitation. So, yeah, I'm Dan Amara, the CEO of Sportigo, and yeah, I think we're gonna take some time to talk about Sportigo and this the wellness industry.
Amazing. So can you tell us a little bit more how you got into the management software world, why you started it, and what was maybe the aha moment that led you understand that there is something here that you want to solve?
Yeah, sure. So I have a bit more than 20 years of let's say experience in the SaaS industry, in the different positions. So basically, I start as a developer, and then I switch on the industry for about on a technical account manager side. And now 12 years ago, I start my first, I co-found the first SaaS software. My first SaaS company was HUD Poker. That was an algorithmic real-time analysis for a poker player. Pretty innovative at this time. And Laurent, the Sportigo founder, was already my business partner then. So it's a long story building, let's say, a SaaS product with Laurent.
Okay, so
then I spent,
yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Then I spent most of my career in capital market and in SaaS industry, but in fintech, let's say more focused in fintech industry, like AgiCap, treasury management SaaS, or Trezor, bank as a service SaaS as well. And then I jump in Sportigo a few months ago.
Okay, so this is a relatively new SaaS that you went into, and what was the trigger to move from whatever you were doing before that into this sport management software world?
Could you just repeat? I didn't sure to.
Yeah, sure. So Sportigo, is it a new journey for you? A relatively new journey? Okay. And how did it start? What was the trigger to join Sportigo or to start Sportigo?
Yeah. So I'm not the original founder of Sportigo. Laurent, the founder, like most of people in Sportigo now, it's coming from the payment industry. So it's a payment expert. It's important for the next of the story, because how Sportigo starts, it's after a martial art training. Laurent spoke with his coach, who mentioned how inflexible his current software was, and that was in 2015. Laurent took a look to the SaaS solution used by the coach, and very quickly he saw a gap between the market, the user experience, the payment, the booking management, and he decided to go all in. So basically, he left his job. He sat at the front desk of the gym and learned the ins and the outs of the daily problem, and start building what will become Sportigo. And it started, let's say, slowly in 20 and the COVID arrived. But Sportigo continued his, let's say, his growth, but it was a slow growth. And 1 year ago, Laurent gave me a call. I said, okay, now I think we have a good momentum. The company start to scale. We need to make a European expansion. We need to grow faster. And I need someone to do it with me. And as we know, I know very well Laurent. We already start a company together. So we decided to do it together.
Okay, amazing. So is it safe to say that the Sportigo started as a martial arts management software? Was it supposed to solve this vertical's specific problem?
At the very beginning, yeah, definitely the focus was the martial art. But the thing is, everything changed during the COVID. So basically, before the COVID, there is not a lot of industry, let's say, vertical that need a booking system. Most of them just need the client to pay and go to the gym without any booking. But when the COVID starts, you need to book because there are maximum people on each session, let's say. This usage continue. So, and Laurent was one of the, let's say, there was a 2 or 3 product that able to make this kind of booking system. So for this reason, Laurent started with the martial art and then growth in the fitness industry, then in yoga, in Pilates, and all the, let's say, the different vertical or category we have in the wellness industry.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
So
and today, let's say,
yep.
yeah, please go.
So with COVID, the main pain point became the bookings, and that's that's the mission of Sportigo. Let's say that's where it started, to solve the complex booking during COVID time. Was
Yeah,
it a
it
unique?
was, yeah, it was more an opportunity because the product was already ready to manage the booking.
Mhm.
And at this time, all the club need to manage the booking, but most of them don't have the right product to do that. So they start having a look on what happened on the industry, and Sportigo was one of the product able to manage the booking, the online courses as well. So yeah, it was a good opportunity, but it was let's say it was a bit hard as well because some gym closed, some other tried to survive thanks to the booking. So it was not a big growth during this time, but Sportigo didn't die during the COVID because of the capacity to make a booking. And as soon as the COVID stopped, the growth of Sportigo started to increase every year.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes you just need to survive a period of time,
Exactly.
and then everything gets better. Yeah, I think that's an inspiring moment and an important message for our listeners. And I also liked what you said about the agility, because it started from, if I understand you correctly, from solving a pain point for martial arts. But when the COVID started, you really need to respond to something that is happening in the market. And here you found the opportunity to focus more on the bookings, because that's what people really needed, right? That was their real pain point.
Yeah, definitely. It was the pain point during the COVID, and the right thing that Sportigo was already ready to manage it. And then we start selling the product to other let's say vertical in the vertical, let's say in the health in the wellness industry. From our perspective, there are two categories. Let's say the fitness club that typically facilities with more than 500 members, often reaching the thousands, and the studio, usually smaller, more, let's say, premium spaces focused on specific disciplines such as yoga, pilates, martial art, dance. I don't know. There's a lot. Now all of them need a booking solution, and the right thing was also the online payment because as I said, Laurent was an expert in the payment industry. So day one, he built the product around the payment and to make sure that the payment is frictionless as possible for the client. Even let's say, in fitness industry, you have a lot of people that don't pay or SEPA rejection or all this kind of thing. So everything was on the core system and everything was think in the user experience to make sure that it will be frictionless for the club manager.
Interesting. Okay, because I hear that payments is a lot of the time connected to management software products, but here it sounds like it came very early, maybe because of the fintech experience that you mentioned earlier. So, what were the unique payment features that Sportigo offered, and how was the offering?
Today, we go beyond a traditional ERP features. Sportigo is a true all-in-one solution that not only manages the operation, but actively drive the growth of the gym. We help our client to boost the member acquisition and the retention through optimize purchase channel or gamification module. So basically, we are not only managing the members, the payment and the booking. We try to make everything that is possible for the manager to offer unique experience to his member thanks to Portigo. We also provide integrated control access for gym, a fully embedded CRM and let's say actionable data inside that giving the club owner the tools to do they need to make smarter and faster decision.
Nice. Okay, so it's not only booking and payments. There is obviously a lot of more aspects to this all-in-one platform, aiming to solve everything. But it sounds like with your fintech experience, the payment is a crucial part of it. So let's ask it like this: is payments a big part of the revenue for your management software? Or is the SaaS a bigger part of it? And what do you recommend for management software founders to do around payments?
No, in terms of revenue, it's definitely the SaaS, not the payment. The people go with Sportigo because of the payment, because the user experience around the payment, it's very frictionless. In case of unpaid, let's say, membership, we manage this automatically. So basically, we take the card number. Even if you pay in SEPA, we have also the card number of the member. And as soon as the SEPA failed, we take the money with the card. We have a way to manage unpaid as well, very flexible, and to make them completely automatic. So you need to imagine that you have a big gym with 5,000 members. In this industry, you can imagine that 5% of people will not pay every month. So if you have to manage 5% of 5,000 members, you need, let's say, one person full time to manage this. My advice is to say that the payment needs to be frictionless as possible. The cost must be good as well, because there is kind of, let's say, small wars between PSP and the bank. So the bank would like to keep the SDD part, but if we do that, we cannot automatize them. So we still have some clients that doing the payment directly with their bank, but the user experience is not good at all in the product. We need to embed the payment, and we need to make sure that it's no brainer for the gym owner. The payment will work. You know exactly what happened, who pay, who didn't pay. And as soon as the client didn't pay, for example, we can remove the access of the gym immediately. So basically, one thing that people love in Sportigo, I am a member. If I didn't pay my membership, the next time I will open my mobile app, my Sportigo mobile app, I will have a link to pay what I have to pay before going back in the gym. So the member will do everything, let's say, in an autonomous way, and the club owner just have to focus on the value and not on the operation.
Okay. Yeah, amazing. So it sounds like it's a unique selling point for Sportigo, right? The smoothness of payments. And I'm wondering why you don't tie it with your revenue opportunity. Because for some software companies, management software companies that I spoke with, the payments is not only a feature to give value to their users, to the gym owners, for example, but it's also a revenue opportunity for the management software itself.
No, what I say is not the main part of the revenue.
Okay.
It's not the main part of the revenue, but it's part of the, let's say, the package of what we are doing with Sportigo.
Okay. So but it really sounds like you always focus and prioritize the gym owners and their experience and making them happy with all the features that you serve, right?
Yeah, that's key because, you know, we are not a side tools in the life of the gym owner. We are the main tools. So we manage, as we say, we manage the control access, we manage the payment, we manage the booking, we manage the mobile app, the marketing as well. So Sportigo is used on daily basis and basically on a hour basis, I will say, on the gym. So yeah, we must have a product that really solves the manager issue, and we need as well to make sure that it's easy to use, and then we will avoid as possible the churn, because gym owner can stay with a product that does not works very well for him, because he use it all the day.
Okay, that's interesting. You mentioned the churn because it sounds like you really focus on making your product sticky. So maybe you have some tips for management software founders on how to reduce the churn, and what do you think is the most important thing that can help reduce churn and make the management software sticky?
Let's say the answer will be a bit easy. I mean, it's communication and innovation. So we need to talk with the client. We don't have to wait that the client contact, let's say, Sportigo to say he's unhappy or there's something that not happened very well. So we make a lot of usage analytic of the product. So we know who are using what in Sportigo. And if we see something that is not, let's say it's abnormal in terms of usage, we will contact the client to understand what happened. We monitor the payment as well. If we see an increasing number of unpaid at the gym owner side, we call him as well, try to understand what happened, how we manage his payment. So our support, our client services, so the CSM team at Sportigo is very dedicated to have the best KPI as possible in terms of NPS or this kind of thing, and make sure that the client is happy with the usage. And as well, the way that we are working, our roadmap, but I think we will talk about this later, have an impact on the way that we manage the churn as well. So the communication is the key. Be transparent as well with the client. Don't lie. That say something will happen and nothing happen. And then the communication is okay.
And how do you scale this kind of communication? Because you obviously talk about personalized contact here and the real human communication. And with all the AI coming in and the trends of support being very AI based and quick and just, solving the problem and letting the person go, how do you maybe balance between this, or how do you stay so personal when you need to scale and bring more and more customers?
It's a real challenge. You're right. Basically, at Sportigo, 70% of the support is managed by the AI, and we have more than 95% of the client that using the AA that is happy with. So basically, it works very well. It's for us, let's say, the easy way to grow. Our CSM team is more focused on the client and not a lot on the support, because most of the support is managed automatically. And even the support will reach the CSM team. CSM also have copilot AA that help them to solve and answer the client pain point. So we take a lot of time to write documentation, to let's say to make sure that the AA model is smart enough to manage the support, not alone, but most of the support line.
So the AI model is trained on your documentation. Okay, I really liked what you said about the difference between CSM or client focused and support, because I think what's interesting here to highlight is that there is a difference between where human needs to be proactive and reach out and make sure that everything is okay with the client and that he's happy and he's using the software. But in the meantime, there is, like you say, 70%. Maybe for each company it will be different, but there is a certain amount that can be automated, but not everything. So I like this difference, because I think sometimes when you think about customer support or CSM, you think about all together, right? Just manage the clients, but there are different aspects inside. There is the support, like you said, and fixing problems, and then also taking care of the client.
Yeah.
And that's something that probably AI won't be able to help us with, at least soon. I don't know what will happen in 5 or 10 years, but at least for now. Okay, yeah, so that was an interesting point. Thank you. Thank you about that. And you started saying something about the roadmap and how it helps, and how managing the roadmap helps manage the churn and the success of the management software. So can you tell us a little bit your thoughts about that?
Yeah, sure. So we this is more focused on the way that we are building the roadmap. So basically, we have let's say Sportigo vision. Sportigo vision, we know where we would like to go. We know more or less what we need to do to accomplish this. But this is something that we are able to let's say to change. We are able to brainstorm about and thanks to the client feedback, we are lucky. Most of our clients have good idea, and they don't let's say have too personal needs. When a client call us to explain what is the problem, most of the time he come with a solution. But when we find the problem, usually this problem is it's market problem. So it's interesting to fix it. But we are not going to say to the client that this will be done in 2 years because the roadmap is full. And I think this is the key. The key is to keep the agility. And if the feature takes 1, 2, or 3 days to do, most of the time we are able to do it in let's say in a month or 1 or 2 months maximum. We always keep some bandwidth in the roadmap to being able to make some small development for the client. So that help a lot And for this reason, we are, let's say, probably one of the most agile product today. And again, we talk a lot with the client, so we explain where we are. We are happy to share with them a small demo, even if it's not finished yet. So we collect the feedback from them, and it's important because they know when they talk with Sportigo, we will listen them. We are able to say no as well, and we explain why, of course. But and most of the time they understand that it's too specific or is not relevant. Or we also have a solution for that, even if it's not the solution that you expect. We can fix your problem. We have a solution for your problem, for your needs. But when the need is completely new, then we build the product with the client, with, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4 clients, and they know that Sportigo is one of the faster software solution in this industry for this kind of needs. So we are bootstrap. That's a point as well. We are completely bootstrap. We are entirely bootstrap. So we are, let's say, the full power to manage what we would like to do.
Wow, I really liked your point about the bandwidth because I think it's a very important tip for our listeners. You know, keeping this bandwidth in your product roadmap, I think it's a unique idea because usually product road mapping is very, very busy, but having this space for a customer request that always arrives, you know, it's not going to be surprising that it's going to come. So wow, I think that's a useful tip for any software builder and management software builder. Yeah, and that's also unique that you are bootstrapped. I'm not sure I've spoken to this kind of management software yet. So I guess it's, you know, it gives you some freedom also in your product road mapping, right? It allows you to be more flexible.
And as well, what we have done at Sportigo, we try to avoid having 1 or 2 very big clients, because as soon as you have a client that, let's say, represent more than 10, 20%, or even sometimes you have clients that represent 50% of your revenue, you are not you don't control your roadmap, because you have to execute what your client needs, because if you lose the client, the company is over. So basically at Sportigo, we are working with a bit more than 600 gym, and we probably have a bit more than 500 clients. So that's, let's say, a key for us to avoid having a too big client at the beginning. And bigger we are, and bigger can be our client as well. So we still be in control of the roadmap, because we don't have only one client that represents too much money for the company.
Yeah. Okay, got it. That's also a good tip. And what do you mean that you're in a relationship with 600 gyms, but only 500 are clients? What's the difference?
Because we have clients that have 1, 2, 3, or 10 gym.
Okay.
But you know, in France, you could have some clients that have 200 gym. Let's imagine that if Sportigo have 1 client with 200 gyms, it would represent 30% of the revenue. And then we will probably not being able to be agile, having this kind of approach regarding the roadmap, because the client will ask so much and we have to do it.
And do you have plans to expand from France, or is you actually focusing on this specific country?
No, we already are in 10 countries. So we are in Belgium, in Switzerland. We opened a new office in Italy.
Oh,
4 months ago. Thanks. We are very happy with that. That the first, let's say, this is the second office of Sportigo, because the growth was managed by from the France for now. So we are in many countries in Africa as well. So we had, let's say, natural expansion, that we don't make any effort to go in these different countries. Most of the time is let's say the people that know Sportigo, because they let's say it's a word of mouth. In this industry, everyone know everyone, basically. Our new client is sometime, let's say, a former user, either as a coach or member. So you can imagine someone was a coach in French, and then he live in Belgium, open a gym, and then they call Sportigo to work with Sportigo in the new gym. And the expansion was done like that so far. But now we have a specific focus in Italy, and we launched a new country, new office in Italy.
Okay, nice. Funny story. But besides word of mouth, because that's something you can't really invest in day-to-day marketing, what are the other marketing activities that you choose as a company and that you see is effective?
Yeah. Let's say 1 year ago, almost nothing. As I say, Sportigo started growing not a long time ago, but since we make some ads in magazine, we make some Google ads as well. Of course, we go I don't remember how would you say this in English. Give me a sec. Salon, you know how do you say salon? Congrès,
So,
like a congrès.
okay, an event.
An event. So we go in specific event dedicated to fitness industry. And for the rest, it's a lot of network. So we start having a partnership, um, and um, and uh, and let's say the reputation of the customer service of Sportigo is really huge in this industry. So we had a lot of people that coming from us. Most of our business today is inbound. Well, let's say it's 95% of the business of Sportigo is purely inbound. So
Wow.
thanks to the SEO, SER, and the reputation.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. I thought SEO is dead, but
No, it's still really active.
it's still active. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So what are the keywords that you're ranking for? What's your SEO strategy? That sounds interesting. I'm not used to hear about it.
It's a booking system for gym. How do you manage the payment? All the questions that people asking in the daily basis when they manage a club, because we have, let's say, different type of a client. We have very low tech client that was used to manage everything manually, but because of the new regulation, because of let's say what you need to do when you manage this time of club, sometimes they would like to make some automatization, and then they are looking in the Google basically, or ask people around them to see what are you using, or how to manage my gym thanks to software, or sometimes it's through the control access. So basically, you have a gym, you would like to open 20, let's say 20 hours per day, but you can afford to pay someone to be on the gym all the day, and then you need a control access, and then they are looking for control access for gym, and they arrive on Sportigo specific landing page.
Nice. Okay.
And,
Wow.
yeah.
Impressive. And are you doing any AI engine or LLM optimization to show up also when someone will ask ChatGPT these questions, like how can I manage payments with my gym or stuff like that?
To try to see if
Yeah, because I'm reading recently that there is a new search engine optimization that is not only for Google, but also for ChatGPT.
yeah, this is something we start having on our side. We see that it's very new, but we have some clients coming from ChatGPT or
Wow.
Perplexity. And
Okay,
because we
nice.
know the source page before they arrive to Sportigo. And yeah, Sportigo is not, few months ago, ChatGPT was not aware what is Sportigo, but progressively now he knows us. That's a good point. And we have a lead that's coming from ChatGPT and Perplexity today.
And did you need to do anything special in order to become familiar on ChatGPT, or was it a natural indexing that just happened along the way?
It's natural indexing, but done by expert. So let's say
Okay.
a bit of both. So we are
Okay.
working we are when we are building a web page. SEO is, let's say, like the payment is the core of the sports ecosystem, and while we are
Okay.
writing something on the document, SEO is the core of this as well. So we need to make sure
Okay.
that what we are writing here will be read by people, and if it's ChatGPT, it's even better.
Got it. Interesting. So it's a natural and new evolvement in the SEO world. Still
exists, yeah.
Yeah, it exists. Okay, it's true. Interesting. So then, in your opinion, what's the difference between average management software and industry-leading management software?
Give me 1 sec. I will think about this. Between let's say the top player and
Yeah, how do you become the top players, or what will be the difference between a normal average management software and management software that can really succeed very well. We talked about some stuff you said before, the communication, but
I think there is a many point, but I will try to, let's say, to talk about a few of them. I think the vision is a key. You need to avoid having a collection of feature or just adding new feature on top of the previous feature. You need to create, let's say, to build an environment that everything makes sense. So one feature need to communicate with another feature. And I can give you an example here. We have a gamification module that each time you go on your gym, you earn some point. If you, with this point, you can buy something on the club. You know, if you reach a new record, you will have some points. If you buy something, and everything is, let's say, over the product, and that help the manager to create. Let's say, I will make a challenge this week. Come 2 times, and you will earn 100 points. And with 100 points, you can buy, I don't know, bottled water or anything. And that's the point. So basically, you need to avoid just having a collection of feature. Everything need to make sense for the client, and you need to drive this by a long-term vision. This will help you to anticipate where the market is going. And as well, I think the strong vision helps the team to stay focused and align on their priority, to build with purpose, not just reactively. Not just the last thing that the client has is the new priority. No, you need to make sure that this is what I say with the roadmap. When a client asks for something, we need to make sure that it's aligned with the vision, and we are not going to just have something for one client that does not make sense, let's say, on the Sportigo vision. And I think it's the first point. Another one would be.
I think it's interesting because, at least for me, because it's a very leadership thing to say the word vision and to stick to the vision. And it's something that can really drive the whole team together. I mean, sometimes it's probably very difficult as as a busy person, and you have a lot of requests and a lot of you can get occupied on many things and chores and I don't know what and requests. But I like how you emphasize this, even on a philosophical level, because you're also leading a team here and the company, and you're creating something bigger than yourself. So that's awesome. I like it.
I think that will help. You need to love what you are doing as well. So basically, I love that's very basic, but the team love doing sport. We are working in sport industry. This is something that we're just happy to be there and to build a product that solve issues. Sorry. And I think that's the second point. You need to understand the real world problem that the manager have, the user have, and maintaining a close relationship with both client and prospect, because the lead will be the next people that you need to serve with the product. And maybe if most of them ask for the same thing, maybe you need to, even if it's not on your vision, you need to think about this and say, okay, maybe I'm not going on the right way, let's say, and I need to adjust a bit. So you need to continuously adjust the product and the roadmap to solve the pain point that truly matter. And then you need to talk with people and always having the mindset of being a problem solver people.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's inspiring. Again, a lot of the times it's like, I'm a pragmatic person, so I like to respond pragmatic questions. But I think you really bring here a philosophical aspect, let's call it, loving what you do, bringing in the vision, staying open-minded, listening to the people around you. So all of these things are an integral part of being a leader of management software or of anything. So thank you for bringing this aspect into the podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. And I think because you're right, this is something, let's say, this is high level position, but the most important is the execution. So without execution, the vision mean nothing. It's like a dream. So you basically have dream, but you are not going anything that you need for a dream. So I think the execution is the key. And even when you grow, you need to deliver fast and iterate often. And yeah, I think you need to have impact. So basically, execution is definitely the key. 20% is the vision, the mindset, and and 80% is definitely the way that you will execute the plan. And yeah, I think it's still the most important.
Yeah, but this is the recipe.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Is there something in your management software journey that you think was a mistake or something that you learned from along the way? It can be a story with a customer or something that you decided to change in the last minute, something that a lesson that is staying with you today.
Yeah, we have a lot. I'm afraid we did a lot of mistake. Basically, I will say, let's say two different. The first one would be compromise the quality. So we are selling control access. So this is hardware that the client will install on the gym. It's sometimes it's a big one-off. You need to pay the hardware, and most of clients say that the price is not good. You need to have cheaper price. So we try to buy cheaper hardware, and we stop immediately. That's sometimes you need to pay the right price to have the right services. Basically, in the hardware, it's really true. Instead of paying, I don't know, 500 euros, you would pay 200 euros. But after 6 months, you will have tons of problems. So this will increase the number of the support requests that you can't manage by AA. Basically, because it's hardware problem, you need to explain with one guy, with another guy, what happened. It's too complex for now. So we are using only a top quality hardware, and we don't have any problem. That's just crazy. The difference is huge. And even if the client don't want to pay a bit more than, you see that I saw in Amazon, I can buy the same for let's say the 100 euros instead of 500. No, this is not exactly the same. And if you buy this, you will have, of course, a lot of problem right after. So I think it's something that we change with the mistakes that we have done. And also sometimes you need to, and it could be a bit strange, but to refuse some contract. As an example, a few years ago, one of our clients opened in a country that have a lot of regularity requirement. It was not possible for us to say, no, we are not working with you. But we try and, let's say, the tons of things that we need to do to be ready in this market was not possible. So we stopped working with this client because of this. And now, as soon as we have this kind of client, we prefer to refuse to work with them instead of, again, compromise the quality of the way that we are working with him, because we are not able to manage all the, let's say, the regulatory stuff or the support as well. If the support is not correct, not good, we prefer to don't work with them.
Okay, so sometimes taking hard decisions or going the hard way is eventually going to be the easiest way or the more effective way, and I think that's a great
but
lesson.
You need to, let's say, I think you need to sometimes to make the mistake, because for the hardware, as an example, if we never try to buy low cost hardware, I think Sportigo will still be asking each month, do we need to do something in this area? So we did it, we make the mistake, and now we know we have the right solution and we are doing it.
It's like choosing a partner or going on a date. Sometimes you need to go and do the mistake and just stop thinking, overthinking it. And okay,
exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't overthink and go and make the action.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Thank you, Dan. I'm going to ask you one last question. I like to end with this one because it's an inspirational one. And we need your imagination now. So if tomorrow morning you would wake up with double the budget that you have, what's the first thing you would invest in?
To be honest, as we are bootstrap, we ask this question to ourselves a lot of time, because do we want to stay bootstrap or not? And if we leave this position, for sure the budget will double. But I think we are on a good priority. The priority for Sportigo is the customer success. AA, the way that we are using AA first internally for us, for Sportigo, to improve the way that we are working, to decrease the let's say the load specifically on the customer success team. Then we will invest on the product and European expansion as well. We know that we have a very good product market fit, but the very good product market fit in France is also real in Italy, Belgium, Switzerland, Spain, in all the countries. But to let's say to accelerate the European expansion, double the budget will help.
Nice. Amazing. Dan, thank you very much. It was a lovely discussion and great to have you on Unipod. Thanks for sharing your journey and your experience. And to all our listeners, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for the invitation. Bye.